is Kenya Hobbs. I serve as the Director of Diversity and Inclusion as well as the Title IX Coordinator, in addition to being the co-director of the Honors Program here at Medaille College. I've been here for about 3 years now. It's been a great experience. I've been married for 22 years. My wife, Deanna, and I got married when I was 25 and she was 21. And I can honestly say that she is my best friend. I've got 4 kids. I know, don't let the boyish good looks fool you. I'm older than you might think. I've got a 21-year-old in college. That's my oldest daughter, Kyla. My second oldest daughter, Kaya, is 19. My oldest son, Kadar, is 17. And my youngest son, Caleb, is 14, going on 65. My relationship with them collectively is really good. My relationship with them individually, it depends on the day. Kyla, my oldest 2 girls, I have a great relationship with them. They've gotten past most of the strange stage of kid, adult. They're moving into their adulthood. They're young women. They're, in other words, rational human beings now. So it's very cool to just sit down and have conversations with them and to learn more about who they are as individuals. And it's been really interesting just watching their evolution and their growth from these little babies that I used to hold on my chest to now these full-grown women with their own ideas and thoughts about the world. In terms of my boys, Kadar and Caleb, so I had a pivotal moment probably just a couple of years ago with them. And here's what I mean. Initially, when I had my boys, I operated from the idea of I'm the father, these are my sons, and I've got to make them men. I've got to get them ready for the world. And in having that mindset, how it translated to my parenting was I was so focused on creating men, I forgot that they are kids, and to allow them to just be kids and recognize that there are some things that they don't know, and there are some things that they don't even need to know right now or need to be concerned about. But my focus was so much on, I know what challenges are facing them or going to be facing them out in the world, so it's my responsibility to prepare them. And I wouldn't say it was a drill sergeant mentality, but it was one that was probably less connected than I should have been and more dictatorial in terms of here's the responsibility, here's the obligation, here's what you need to do, these are the steps you need to do it in, go for it. And then if they come back or if they're looking confused, it's like, what do you mean? I already told you what to do. Why are you back asking me about this? Or if they had a challenge or a difficulty doing something, rather than taking that moment to stop and explain further, it was then, are you questioning my fatherhood? Are you questioning my authority? And really looking internally and saying, you know what? I got to get this right. I got to focus on building these boys. Because I heard a wonderful quote that said, it's more important to build strong boys than repair broken men. And I never wanted that to be my legacy, that my kids, particularly my boys, would go through life and then I'd be the one held responsible for their brokenness and be accountable for having to try and fix that in some way. What I enjoy most about being a father is having that opportunity to shape and mold these young individuals by sharing with them the knowledge and experiences that I've gathered over the years, and really recognizing that I can impact not just their lives, but I can impact and influence their worldview by the things that I share with them, either through the words that I communicate with them, the lessons that I can share with them, but also the actions that I model before them. Because what I also recognize is we're teaching every day, and at every touch point, I am either making a deposit or withdrawal in our relationship. And I want to make sure that in my communications and in my interactions with all of my children, that I'm doing more to make deposits than I am to make withdrawals. Because if I'm making more withdrawals, then at the end of the day, you know, when they grow up and they're full adults and they're out of the house, well, they're not really going to want to hang out with somebody that all they did was take from them or tell them what they weren't or how they could be better. And it's far more effective to even recognize in the moment, if they don't get something right, that's all right. They got time. And it's my responsibility, and what motivates me as a dad is to be able to say, it's my responsibility to be the adult in the situation and to be the one to be able to share information with them in a way that they can receive it in the place and the level that they're currently at, and not at the level that I think they should be at. Too often we get caught up in, well, you need to be here, and I really want to make sure that I'm addressing them where they're at their level of understanding. I would say probably the most important thing to recognize is that even though your kids may think you're the smartest person in the world, or even though you may think you have to be the all-knowing dad, that it's vitally important that you make space for grace. Grace for yourself, grace for your children, recognizing that you're not always going to get it right. You're not always going to say the right thing. You're not always going to do the right thing. But if you are persistent in it, and if you continue to try and be willing to apologize when you don't get it right, I can't tell you, just that piece alone is so critical. When you mess up, when you get it wrong, be the first person, that first role model that they see as an authority figure who can say, you know what, I messed that up, my bad, I didn't do that right, or I didn't say that right to you, I'm sorry. Be willing to hug them, be willing to be vulnerable, show emotion, be transparent. Certainly there are things that we prepare or share with children as they grow up in stages and phases of life, so that we're not dumping on them like, oh, I don't have enough money to pay the bills this week, so let me dump that. No, not those kind of things, but be transparent enough to let them know that you are human, and even as dad, you want to make the best possible environment for them. And just stay encouraged. We're all learning. Be a lifelong learner, and recognize that there is genius in your children that you are not responsible for, but you can be a benefactor of if you just love them.